Mr. Don Swenson.
Mr. Soundside House.
Holy cow, I felt so nervous. We were speaking with a real journalist.
I know, it was that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Savanna Perry.
Savanna Perry, dude, as soon as she came to my camp and started interviewing myself, my wife, and the way she interacted with the kids, her energy, charisma, and just loved the game, I knew I had to bring her on.
I thought it was like super serendipitous that you like wrote to me that day, and like 3 hours earlier I had just sent her an email with some promotional materials for Halloween, and it was just it was fate. It was meant to be.
Meant to be, brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new friend, our guest, Savanna Perry. We're back, Don.
Oh my gosh, it's been way too long.
You look older.
I feel older.
Yeah, still beautiful though.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, how you been?
I'm good. Things are real good.
I got positive feedback from the Heidi episode.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, people seem to like it.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
People learned a thing or two.
Yeah, I learned a thing or two.
So, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes I meet someone and I'm like, wow, that person's super cool. Do they do anything creative? I don't know. And that really is like, sometimes it's a barrier between bringing good people on this podcast just because they don't do creative stuff.
Yeah.
But the other day, here at summer camp, we had the Hammonton Gazette show up because they were doing a piece on the diabetic kids, the kids with type 1 who come to camp. And Lisa, my wife, she does a million things for it.
Sure.
And, I've done several interviews with the newspaper about this and that. But the person who came blew me away with her questions and personality. And so I had to bring her on.
Rad.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new friend, Savanna Perry. They're somewhere around here. You'll find them eventually.
Yeah,
What's up, Savanna?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I got to say, super impressive when you were here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Most people, they come, they ask, not just Gazette, just, interviews in general. They just ask run-of-the-mill questions, But you asked really good questions, and they weren't prepared. It seemed like you were improvising, right?
Yes, I was. I do research depending on what the topic is, I guess, but I kind of try not to stick to just research. I kind of go based off of the feeling that I'm interviewing people with, kind of to see where they're taking the interview, and then I kind of just, whatever comes up the top of my head, I kind of just spur it out, and I just kind of just go from there.
I think that's what makes the biggest difference, right? Is because you actually are curious. You actually do have questions, and you're just asking from your own curiosity and probably just also what you think other people would be curious about as well, right?
Yes.
So before you did this job, let's talk about let's take the Wayback Machine. You were sending me kind of a list of things you did in high school. Like it was a long list of really impressive things. Like, what were the types of things that got you ready for this career in journalism?
Okay, well, I can kind of tell you the exact moment that I knew I wanted to pursue journalism. I was in class in high school, and one of the live shows, The Devil's Advocate, was playing during class, and it sucked me in right away. People were holding microphones, running around the hallways, carrying cameras, doing fun segments and shows, and just being in front of a camera and anchoring. And I kind of just thought, wow, this could kind of be a career. I didn't think that was something I could do in college or pursue or learn more about. So that was kind of where it first sucked me in. I was already taking digital cinema freshman year. So as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, I was already learning the basics of editing videos and putting it together. And just being able to be creative and doing my own spin on things, I kind of just knew that's where I wanted to go. And so, yeah, that was basically it.
What's the Devil's Advocate?
So that is the student-run broadcast that the journalism program puts on. So they have Journalism 1 and 2 available for students starting your junior year.
No way.
And this is at Hammonton High School?
Yes,
Okay.
it
Did
was.
you know they did that?
I had no idea. I mean, my daughter just started going there, so
No way, your daughter's in high school?
no, she just Hammonton in general.
Oh,
you know?
okay. I was going to say, I knew time flew, but... All right, sorry. Ignore me. I have summer camp brain right
Yeah,
now.
I still got like 7 years before.
All right,
so-
let's not rush anything.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's crazy. They have a program for high schoolers in journalism?
They do, and that was kind of where I got my start when I realized that this is what I want to study in college, because Miss Gerst, she's the one who teaches journalism. She was really great at setting me up for the basic knowledge of what I needed to know, and same with Mr. Joseph, the digital cinema teacher, because I already had the basics down of writing, how to create short films, packages, segments, and I was also able to get on anchor experience just as a high school student by doing the live shows, sitting at the desk, anchoring, reading off of a teleprompter every single morning for the morning show. So I kind of got everything underneath my belt right away, and it was pretty cool.
No way. What was it about that video that you were like, all right, this is what I want to do?
Just something about being in front of a camera and holding a microphone. That was something that I've always been drawn to. I've been making videos since I was a little kid. I feel like everyone kind of gets their start from there, wanting to post on YouTube and making vlogs and travel videos. So I've always been very creative that way of wanting to. I just love editing videos and just putting stuff together. So it was kind of just an easy choice for me.
Do you like talking to, I guess, strangers and stuff in your normal life as well?
No. Which is definitely
get
the funny
paid.
part.
Okay, yeah.
I would say working in this type of career definitely is breaking me out of my shell, because I'm normally not the type of person to go up to someone and start
Really?
a conversation with them. Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Glad I surprised you. But yes, I'm usually very to myself, shy, but if I have to work, it's what I have to do. And honestly, I kind of like it because it kind of builds me the courage, and I know no one's going to judge me for it. I'm just doing what I have to do. So.
I'm curious because, like, my kids are constantly talking about putting videos up on, like, TikTok, Instagram, and I hear, like, I hear the people saying, oh, they're too young, you can't let them get out there and do that. But at the same time, what they're not saying that I think about is, first of all, we live in that world now, so it's good to learn about it. But also, it sounds like there's a lot of creativity involved, right?
Yes, I can definitely see that viewpoint from both sides of the parent being cautious about wanting to post your kids and letting them have that access. Because when I started, there was only YouTube. There was no TikTok. There was no Instagram. But my parents were also like, you shouldn't be posting these videos on the internet. So they were private, but there was video apps called Video Star. I'm not really sure if it's around anymore, or it's more like a music video type of edit. So you pick a song, have these filters, have all these different effects going on, and that was still like kind of the way of getting into it as much. So I can kind of see that, but I really didn't listen to my parents anyway, and I still posted videos on YouTube, but they were just lighthearted.
Yeah.
What were they? Like, what kind of videos were you were making music videos?
Well, I wouldn't call them music videos,
All right.
but when I decided to post on YouTube, it was more like, come to this concert with me. Like, I remember going to One Direction was my favorite band.
Oh, snap. What was that song? Oh, that catchy song. All my students listened to it.
What Makes You Beautiful?
Beautiful. Yeah, man, I didn't want to like it, but I liked it.
That's how I felt when I first started listening to them, but they're great. So I just made videos just about my life, my experience. 2015 YouTube was a lot different than it was now, so there was a lot of tag videos, I guess you would say, like questions where you can look up, or videos you can look up questions to and answer them, and that would be the video for the day. Or back to school was really big, so what's in my book bag, back to school clothing haul, room tours, just random stuff like that. That was just really big back then. So
Are those videos still up?
no.
No.
So lucky for me, when I went to a charter elementary school in Winslow, it's closed down a long time ago, so it's not a thing anymore. My first YouTube channel, I connected to that email. So for a while, everything was on there. Even after the school closed, I was still able to access all of my videos from there. Then all of a sudden, one day, they were gone. So they were private anyway, but, maybe that was a good thing. So
Yeah, those are always fun to look back on. Oof. I'd hate to see my MySpace.
Do you remember your top 5?
Oh, it switched all the time. Oh my gosh, people took that very seriously. Eventually, they upped it to like a top 16.
Oh my gosh, that's too many.
That's too many, because then if you're left out of that, it's who am I? Shop
why
liver?
am I even talking to people?
Yeah. So, were you on the show that you originally watched, the Devil's Advocate? Did you did that?
Yes.
And what kind of stuff were you doing for Devil's Advocate?
Wow. Okay, so I remember my senior year. Our first live show of the school year, I was an anchor sitting at the desk, just reading off the teleprompter, introducing the segments that were about to play, having banter with my co-host, I guess you would say. Did that. And then I did a lot of coming up with my own ideas for videos. So usually I was either behind the camera or in front, which I kind of liked depending on what video that we had, and depending on who I wanted to speak to in the video was another thing. If I wasn't one to pull people out of class, which is kind of awkward for a student to have to interrupt class and be like, oh, can I pull this student? Teacher's clearly not that happy about it.
But you had free reins to do stuff like that?
Yes, I did, which was awesome. So Miss Kurz had us fill out ideas of videos that we wanted to do, and then she would kind of just look it over to make sure that, it made sense. Like, she let us have fun with it. She never denied anything. But, it had to be appropriate. It had to be something that could be easily attainable and also creative, but, still in that same range, I guess, of not professionalism, but teaching you the right way to make videos, I guess I would say.
Yeah, you weren't just making like nonsense for the sake of making it.
One of the ones that really stood out to me is that we did, I went around to my friends and have them try Halloween candy, but have them close their eyes. So they didn't know what it was. Or even just doing holiday trivia.
What was it, like a taste test? Or like
a taste test.
What was most popular? Reese's?
We actually did really disgusting candies. This was over 5 years ago now, so I really can't remember exactly, but just candy that you wouldn't want to get. And going trick-or-treating, so like licorice, candy corn.
Like Good and Plenty's.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Good and Plenty.
Yeah, that was my mom's favorite.
Is that like a Mike and Ike kind of thing?
No, it kind of looks like the Mike and Ike. They look like
pink
pills.
And white.
It's basically like licorice pills. And
who eats black licorice?
I don't know. My mom loved black licorice. She was just obsessed with it, and I just.
When you went to college, was Jägermeister, was it really popular?
It was.
People loved it. I was like, what?
I was not one of those people.
It's so nasty.
It was better if you kept it in the freezer.
Okay.
Because it got really cold, and I don't know if it just numbed your taste buds, but
probably
not my favorite.
Yeah, so nasty. All right.
Sorry,
yeah,
didn't mean to digress.
We could talk about Jägermeister all day, but
not really.
And so, were you also doing the photography aspect of it as well?
So technically, but not for the Devil's Advocate, I guess. Because I also did yearbook. I was a yearbook editor, so I guess. Not really photography in that sense, because we had our own photographers that would come to the school and do that stuff. But I've always had a love for taking pictures, so even if it wasn't for anything like that directly, I was still the one taking the shots and doing B-roll and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Out of all the things you did the banter, you were reading from a teleprompter. Like, did you have a favorite thing you were doing? Did you just love all of it?
I loved all of it, but I think having a microphone in my hand and just kind of just improvising at the top, being like, I'm Savanna Perry with the Devil's Advocate. Today we're doing blank. I think that was always my favorite, because you get to show your personality more than kind of sitting at a desk and reading off of a script, basically.
Now, Sam sent over a little bit of the conversation that you two were having through text. So while you were doing this, you were also like doing competition dance and sports and stuff. So how did all of that stuff factor into your schedule and your, I guess, natural performance?
Well, that's a good question. So I actually remember the first time that me and Sam met, I told him that I was competitive dancing up until I was 15, so my freshman year, and that's when I decided to call it quits. But even still, as a student, I was very involved.
Who'd you dance with?
I danced with Cedarbrook Dance Academy. They're now called Spotlight Performing Arts Center, but that was a big part of my life for a while. But that's when I was still in middle school, so I really didn't have all that extracurricular activities to worry about. But in high school, once I quit dance, I had to do something else. So I picked up tennis, and I had a job while working, as my senior year and playing tennis. So that definitely is all about time management. I kind of didn't feel like it was that difficult, to be honest with you, because everything for Devil's Advocate and yearbooks, that was all during school hours. So that was really easy to keep a track of everything. But yeah, so it wasn't really that hard, I guess.
Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
And now after high school, you went to school for journalism?
Yes, I did. I got my bachelor's in journalism from Hofstra University.
Also my alma mater.
Yes, I saw that.
Don got very excited.
I was very excited.
I was very excited too when I found that out, because it's very rare from around
For
here.
sure, for sure. I know 2 other people who went to Hofstra around
Wow.
here. Yeah, no, it's out in the wilderness.
Very small. But that was one of the schools that caught my attention.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my mom was the one that was very adamant about making sure I was going to a school that had a good communications program,
great communication.
which I'm very happy that you did that, because I don't know, I just really didn't know anything about college when I was in high school. For some reason, I didn't know what Big Ten was, what Southern schools were. I was like, okay, wherever my mom thinks is like good options. So all the tours we went on was schools with good communication. So like Quinnipiac, I guess Loyola, I went to one. I went to Pace, Boston University, but Hofstra just stood out to me, and it was the best option.
I'm going to drop some names, see if you know these people.
Okay.
Brian Potts.
No.
He does a lot with sports broadcasting over there.
Okay.
Rick Odell. No, damn it. They both work over in that building. So what used to be Dempster, right? It's like named after the guy who did Pantone now, right? Or something.
Yes. It's called the Lawrence Herbert School
That's
of
it.
Communications.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time in that.
Me too.
I was a communications major when I first started there, and then I switched to theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was fun. Everybody I had is dead now.
It
was a long time ago.
That's how it goes.
They were
right?
very old.
Yeah.
Unless you are still alive, and then I'm very sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, I think you were dead.
So, when it comes to actually getting like your degree, so I majored in communications too, and I loved it. Like we did like filmmaking and we did radio stuff. I love doing communications, but I do remember my journalism class. And I remember, the one thing I remember more than anything from it is how they emphasized how objective you need to be in your journalism. And yet, it seems like a lot of journalism nowadays is not objective at all. And I'm just like curious, like in the years you were in college, so I was going to college back in 2001, and it was a different time. Like, what kind of stuff were they teaching you? Were they teaching you about being objective? Like, what's it like learning about journalism in the years you were? What years were you going?
I went from 2020 to 2024.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
right.
very
Fresh
recent.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the real world now.
I am.
Like, you just
I'm over
got
a
here.
year post-grad. I don't know. I would say that I learned all the basic skills I needed to know. I don't really feel like there was anything pushed on me learning as a student, which is very helpful. I kind of was, I don't know, I really just felt like I just learned all the basic needs I needed to know: who, what, where, when, how to report, the basics of reporting. But I remember sitting there in my classes already knowing things as a student because of everything I was involved in high school. So I was kind of just like, okay, this is just easy stuff, easy breeze. But it was more of so putting those skills to the test and figuring out how to use those skills, I guess, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. I wasn't sure if I was going to get a completely different answer where they didn't push that, and they were just learning how to interview people, but learn how to express your own opinion, or I don't know. It's just always I'm watching stuff. I'm like, is that good journalism? Is that what journalism is nowadays?
Okay, so I definitely know what you mean. I've definitely had experiences in certain classes, like I was required to take media and the law, which was a very boring class, I'm not gonna lie, but there was some times where I've seen some objectives or like, I don't know, some personal opinions I kind of felt like was being pushed on, and it kind of turned me off in a way for a while, wanting to actually do journalism, because I didn't want to be involved in all that. I just knew before, like just being from high school and being able to do all this fun stories and being able to come up with ideas on my own, I knew I didn't want to do the kind of what you see on the news, I guess, like the big name news corporations. I was more interested in learning who people were, their stories, feature stories, and kind of just making it more creative. So I guess I kind of iffy, if you, I guess, what you know what I'm saying. So,
did you have a chance to explore that a little bit while you were at college, like for the paper, or
So funny enough, I was not involved in the paper at all. So working for a newspaper is definitely different because I had no experience. Because since I was just so adamant about, well, when I graduate college, I don't know if I want to be a journalist. I don't know if I want to work in journalism. Since most of my work was more public relations based and more social media managing. Okay. So I took my classes for journalism and I loved every second of it. I just thought there just must be something more out there for me to do than just reporting, since, I don't know, I wasn't really interested in it that much.
Really? Oh, that's wild. Were you leaning towards something else, or you were just kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do?
For a while, I wanted to switch my major to public relations, I guess, because right off the bat, it seemed more interesting to me, but I didn't, because there was classes that I already took that wouldn't transfer over into the major. So I was like, you know what, I already made it this far, I'm just going to stick it out. But I would say my last few semesters of college, I definitely took classes that changed my perspective. So I took digital and mobile journalism, so I was able to take videos on my phone and create videos there, but still writing articles and still interviewing people, but turning it into a digital story as well. So putting all the components together in one project definitely made it more interesting, because I was like, okay, this is kind of what journalism is now. And it is still what I do in my job anyway. So it's definitely very helpful.
I'm sorry. Like, can you explain that? Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you do?
For my job now?
No, just just like, what were you learning in that class? What do you mean digital? So for certain projects, we had to post something on Twitter, now X, about promoting your story, or putting a snippet together of an interview you did and being like, look out for the story coming this week. Just something to get people excited about it. But I remember one of my projects, I did a story, this was my final project, about the mental health of athletes for Mental Health Awareness Month. Whoa,
so
cool.
That was a big story. I was able to pick the topic for the whole class. So everyone did their different stories about mental health, but I knew I wanted to focus in on athletes, since I had friends who did cheer and who did dance, and I know that's just super competitive and no one really talks about it, how that takes over your space as a college student, like college athlete. So I had to put together a whole I think it was like closer to 1,000 words article about everything. I tried to get perspectives from the athletic directors, the athletes. I was breaking it down based off of their schedules, how they focus.
Did it have anything to do with concussions, or that's a different...
No, a whole different thing. Just like how the training would affect your school and how it would affect you overall, and making sure that you're still taking care of yourself. So then I had to sit down and interview one of my friends, video format wise. So I had to physically videotape her while I was asking her the questions in front of me, turn that into a different part of the project while still making it into a digitalized story of like putting together pictures, and I had to make graphs for the story. So it was just putting everything together you've learned in just the one big project.
I'm fascinated by that story. Like, what did you learn?
I learned a lot. I learned how much they train. So there's something called intercession for athletes, especially for the dance team and for cheer, because while we were off doing winter break, they're still practicing every single day for hours at a time. Even before class, they have to get up at 6 in the morning, run a few miles where they go to class. Just putting myself in the mindset of a D1 athlete pretty much is super intense. So I guess just learning how, even though they're doing all this intense training, it's nice to know that their coaches still care about them as people and they're pushing them, but they're making sure they're not getting burnt out, and they have ways to fix that and go away about it as a team working together.
So you think for the athletes, you come away with it thinking like, oh, this is a good experience for them? Or you're like, oh man, this is a little much for a young adult? Or how'd you feel about it in the end?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't really have an experience. I don't know. I guess because if you are going about that route anyway, that's just something you have to deal with no matter what sport you play. But yeah, I didn't really have an opinion on it. I guess it made me just more interested in the fact that what they do is so much more than what seems like in real life, because
all the behind the scenes
exactly
stuff.
And I wanted to do cheer and dance because I guess that's pretty much an overlooked sport a lot most of the time, especially growing up being a competitive dancer. I knew how much it took on your body and your mind of trying to do everything. So
does cheer really get that competitive?
oh yes,
Oh wow,
it does. They have intense training, especially like the stunts they do. It's a lot of impact on your body, 100%.
Wow, I didn't know that. Did you? You knew all.
Well,
that.
my roommate in college was a cheerleader for Hofstra too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Roll pride.
Yeah.
Male cheerleaders. People don't realize how strong those dudes are.
Yeah. He was super strong. He was just throwing people around. I think I saw a football player on a video once try to fight the cheerleader, and that football player got whooped. Nope. Different set of skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you get out of college, not totally sure what you want to do, right? Or did you said you kind of came back to it towards the end with those classes?
I was spiraling, not gonna lie.
Oh, you were, huh? Like right off the bat, or were you just like...
Well, I also had to move back home, which wasn't something I was planning on doing, I guess, because especially being going to college as someone who was COVID, it's 2020.
Yeah.
I was like, can't wait to get out of here, can't wait to move and never look back, like wanting to start a fresh new life and wanting to meet all these new people. So I was kind of toned down and being, I'm never gonna come back to Hammonton. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm not coming back anyway. Whatever, see ya. But I was still working for the Gazette during my summers because like, I need experience.
Sure.
So I was working them as a freelancer, but for a while I was still so conflicted because I had such a great internship my last semester that kind of also put in all those elements I've already learned of doing the social media videos, of writing the articles, putting everything together still. So it was very confusing for me of just being like, I don't know what I want to do as a job because I was still like, I don't know if I want to do journalism still, because at the time being a freelancer, I was only giving certain assignments as I wasn't working for them like as staff. So I'm not going to get the same opportunities per se of what to do. But I was patient. I was still just working for them, just doing what I had to do, working my way up. And eventually it's so fun now. I didn't realize that it was going to be this way. Like, I haven't been working them for a year yet. It's only been 6 months. And it's just so fun. So it definitely changed my perspective a lot, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, so what do you love about it?
Every day something new, which I do love.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, it'd be interesting. The perspective is like, you grew up around here, and like, what's it like to report on the town that you grew up in?
I love it, especially because a lot of my assignments have to do with the high school. And like, I was able to cover graduation for middle school and high school. I was able to go to take pictures for prom. I was doing all like the senior stuff. So it would kind of give me a little bit of clarity for as someone who didn't get to finish their senior year of high school, being able to cover these events and all that. But it's definitely super exciting being able to reconnect with my old teachers in a different way. Like, I'm not their student. I'm an adult now. And just having these different conversations with them, I definitely really, really enjoy it. And I enjoy it a lot more than I thought. So super, super fun.
What does a normal day look like for you?
Well, it depends what day we're talking about. Monday and Tuesdays is layout deadline day, pretty much. So we can go over that. So we have 2 papers. So we have the Vineland Voice, which covers all of just strictly Vineland, and then we have the Hammonton Gazette, which is what most people are familiar with. The Vineland Voice is what we started in November, and that's what brought me into working for the Hammonton Gazette. That was kind of my main role coming in. So I was a reporter for them. So I'm slowly working my way back into reporting for the Gazette. So Mondays, we go in, everything for Vineland has to be done by Friday. So Monday, we're looking over the pages, proofreading, making sure everything's spelled correctly, printing them out, copy editing. Then once that's done, we send that in, and then it's time to focus on the Gazette. So for right now, I am putting together the sports pages. That's kind of been my thing since March, is laying out the sports. So that's what I do after Vineland is already done taking care of work. I put together the pages for sports. So I do the scorecards, pick the player of the week.
Oh, you get to pick that kind of stuff.
I do.
Oh, that's cool.
I do. So we do that, and then just worry about putting that together for all of Monday. And then Tuesday today is deadline day for the Gazette. So once again,
is that stressful?
Yes, especially today because our computers weren't working today. We upgraded our system and our computer's a little old, so couldn't handle it. So that was slowing things down a lot. And then Tuesdays we have our editorial meetings, so we kind of go over what we're covering for the week, what can we expect to go in the paper. And since the Hammontonian, our magazine, is coming out at the end of the month, we kind of go over how's everyone looking at our stories for this week. And we're also starting some new exciting projects that I can't give away quite yet. But we were talking about that today. So it just depends. Every week is very, very different. You never know what you're going to get.
How do you choose who the athlete of the week is?
So for off season for the sports right now, it's kind of difficult because there's really no sports going on. But pretty much we do one athlete for Hammonton, one athlete for St. Joe's, since we cover both. And whoever just stood out the most, like if someone got the last goal in a game that made them win the entire match or whatever, just something like that. Whatever stats I do that is super impressive or stands out during the week, that's just who we pick. And we just kind of explain why and put a picture of them in there.
What's that? All right, so Monday, I would be so bad at that spell check part of it. Oh, my gosh. I for sure would miss a word a week at least. Like, what is that process? Like, are you just rereading? I always wondered this. Like, I was always curious about that. Do you just reread it 100 times? Like, how does that work?
Okay, so I would say it definitely matters once you print out the paper because you're writing your article, even for myself, I'm reading it on the computer screen like, okay, this looks good. I put it in the page. But once the page is printed out, then you can actually see what mistakes you're making because it's in front of you. You're not just focused on getting the article done. So definitely for me, for Mondays, I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, wow, I better go fix that because that doesn't sound that great. But so I don't know.
Do you guys implement any like AI now that that's around or anything like that?
We really don't like to do that because it takes away the tone and the voice of us and our reporters since there's only me and Karina. So
there's only two of you?
There's just the two of us for
that
right
whole
now.
Newspaper?
Two full-time staff writers, just me and Karina. So
what?
Yes.
Are you not shocked by that? I had a totally different idea, dude. Like, I thought I saw like a busy room with people running around, newspapers flying in the air, like,
smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Stop the presses.
I need it now, damn it, on my desk. There's only two of you.
That's a lot.
It is. But I do like it. Like since it's still considered a new hire and being able to have all this responsibility.
That is a lot of responsibility.
It's really cool. I mean, especially because, like I said, I never did the Chronicle in college. I just was like, oh, I'm not interested in doing print at all. So I never thought I would have that experience. Even just being a freelancer, I was just sending in my articles and never knew where they were going. Like, I didn't realize that they were going in the newspaper every week. I was just like, okay, this is what they needed from me. I'm going to send it in. Never saw it again. So it definitely gave me a new perspective on how it works and everything like that. Now being so involved and knowing what has to be in there and how important it is. So
I'm having a lot of trouble wrapping my head around this. I'm so sorry. Is it two of you making the whole newspaper? Like all the articles?
Pretty much. We do have freelancers or stringers that do help us out.
What's a stringer?
It's just another word for freelancer, pretty much. Yeah. So we're just stringing them along on things. We also have an intern this summer, so he was pretty helpful with helping us out too, because there's only so much that me and her can go to, especially now that there's two papers and not just one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my goodness! I mean, there's a lot of things going on in that newspaper every week.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for two people.
There is, and we do more than just a newspaper, also. So.
How do you find the time? How long does this take?
To put the whole newspaper together?
Yeah, like in a work week. Is it like a normal 40-hour thing or?
Depends on the week. So like for the carnival, for example, that was a big deal because it was the 150th this year, and we came out with the magazines in English, Spanish, Italian. we're coming out with a coffee book, but our main focus is the newspaper. So we had to split it out by days of who was covering what day, because obviously one person can't go and cover it all because that would just be 100 hours within itself. So I covered 2 days, Karina covered the other 3, and then our intern covered 1. And our publisher is very involved too. He helps us out because he knows how much it is for just 2 people to fully do everything. So it is a lot, but sorry, I forgot what the big question was.
I'm just blown away by it.
Just that it was a lot. It sounds like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have to time manage. So usually it helps to know that our deadlines are just kind of what's getting us through the week. So for Vineland, all of my stuff has to be in by Friday. But I'm the one that puts together the layout too. So it makes it a little bit easier.
Sure.
Before I had our graphic designer would be in charge of laying out everything, which kind of made it more difficult for me, knowing that I was holding her back. So now knowing that I took that off of her plate and I'm like, well, now it's on me. If it's not in there, makes it easier, but makes it more fun.
Do you find a deadline to be a good motivator?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. Honestly, though, it depends, because if I feel like if I have a really good story and I'm rushing to get it done, and I'm like, if I had 1 more week or a couple more days, it could definitely be better. But I'm always putting my best into what I'm putting out there because I know people are reading it and I want them to like it.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
How do you decide during those meetings what articles you guys are going to write that week? Do you have what are the sources in a small town like Hammonton? I know word travels fast here anyway, but do people call you and I got a scoop, or how does that work?
Sometimes. I mean, it's easier for me to talk about Vineland because that's kind of where my insert was out right from the beginning. So I made connections right away with the schools, with the city, with the Historical Society and Vineland. So I usually have a lot of people who reach out to me and tell me that this is going on. I do go to Facebook a lot to look at things.
Really?
I do, especially covering a city that I was never in growing up, where I didn't know anything about or anything like that. It's definitely a new experience. But yeah, people do call a lot of the time and say, oh, I have this idea for a story. And a lot of times it's pretty interesting and it's pretty helpful. So, because it's only just me. So, there's only so much I can figure out on my own. But we always say we love suggestions from people, because people that live there know what's going on. I don't. I'm just there to figure out what's going on and to share it for everybody.
So all the time I'm thinking oh, this would be great in the newspaper. You guys like it when we call and we're like, hey, you might want to write about this?
Honestly, yeah, it's pretty helpful. It just goes by day to day, depending on what goes in there or what we see, or even if it's just something we're out and about and we see something, we'll just put it in there. But we kind of just go off of the basics, like city council, the meetings, but we try to make it interesting by finding events that are going on around, or if an individual did something super important or fun or something that we feel like they would like to spotlight on them for a little bit, we do that also. So it's kind of just a little bit of everything.
What about the crimes? Do you guys talk to Chief Friel all the time?
Well, yes, Karina does. She does. They have a police report that goes in every so often, kind of tells us everything. So there are certain things that we don't put a name attached to. It's more so staff report.
Okay. Do you guys ever get any crap from people? Does anyone ever how could you write this about me kind of thing?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say we have a good reputation.
Okay. Oh, I'm surprised about that. I thought, especially in a small town, everyone knows each other. It'd be like, how could you write this about me? I'm going to see you at the grocery store next week, kind of thing.
Well, we just write the truth. So something, I don't know. We really don't cover anything that's considered controversial also, which I really do appreciate, because especially with new ownership and everything like that, especially for our publisher, he's not from New Jersey. He's from Virginia or West Virginia, I believe. So just also for him, being put in the new place where you want people to trust you and build your trust. So I know for me, I wouldn't want to write a story that could make me look bad. I mean, I know it's about other people, but I want people to trust me, especially all they see is a name. They don't see my face. They don't know what I look like, who I am, anything about me. So I kind of just like to cover the fun things, but still important. Like one of my good friends from high school, his house burned down a couple months ago. So that was something that we put in there just as a basic like press release or whatever. But since I personally knew him, I wanted him to tell his story to me one-on-one. Even though we were friends, I had to take away the friend aspect for a little bit and put on my journalism reporter face and my hat, and I had to just ask him the questions that I knew people would want to know about, but I didn't want to overstep in any way. So it's definitely a little difficult sometimes in order to balance both. But at the end of the day, I just have to do my job.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you have a favorite story that you've covered so far?
Okay, so I was thinking about this earlier because I had a feeling you guys were going to ask me this.
That was my next question.
I would say one of my favorite stories was right before I got my offer full-time. I did a story on the Brotherton Brewery that was closing down in Acco, because we also do neighbors too. So it's not just Hammonton. We cover Acco, Egg Harbor, Mullica, Winslow, depending just what's in the area. And since I don't live in Hammonton either, I was a choice student, so I know other people in other areas. So I knew for a while that once I saw that Brotherton was closing down, I wanted to do a longer feature story on them just because they've been around for a while. And I thought it would just be a good thing for them to have, for them closing down and starting a chapter of their lives. So that was really fun for me to be able to go in there into the brewery and sit there and interview the owner and having him tell me his story and all the basic knowledge and his background information. But yeah, it was a really cool story and I really liked it. There's other things that I covered too that I really liked, like girls lacrosse started their first season last spring, and Dan was sick during that day, so I was asked to go in and cover for him. So he had to take a day off, and I never covered sports in college either. I always wanted to do sports, but I knew that wasn't my area per se, so it wasn't something that I was particularly doing. And I got the call that day to go in there and cover, and I was like, okay, so I'm just going to do it. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. So I was able to cover their first game. This was a big deal. Even as a student in high school, I heard that lacrosse was going to be starting up, but there just wasn't any movement going forward about it. So 5 years later, they're starting their first game, and I get to be there to witness that, to witness history go down for Hammonton, I guess I would say. So that was just another one that was super fun. Or even a couple weeks ago, Good Morning America came to Hammonton.
What?
And
what were they doing here?
They did so they're doing a segment called 50 States in 50 Weeks, where they go to a state each week based off of the order that they were put like in the nation, and just highlighting an area, what makes the state so special. So they picked Hammonton for New Jersey. And since I also do some stuff with Main Street, I was able to get in contact with Ty Wilson a lot about things.
Oh, shout out to you, Ty.
Yeah, shout out Ty.
Dude.
He's awesome. I love working for him.
He is the man.
He's
dude,
awesome.
I would love to have Ty on this show. You know Ty?
Yeah, I hang out with Ty like every week.
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ty and I talk a lot.
We have a mutual connection.
Yeah.
But
that is my dude.
yeah, so that was cool too, especially because going to Hofstra and all of the kids who want to go in communications, they usually work for big name corporations. So one of my friends, she actually is the producer for Good Morning America, and she was the producer on the segment for Hammonton.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, this is my chance to get, my name in there a little bit. So I was able to get the actual quote from the anchor who went live, Rebecca Jarvis, in the article, which is, not something that a lot of people can do. So having those connections, that was super fun, because not only are the businesses in there too, but the actual lady behind it and just all the background knowledge. I just thought that was super cool too.
Nice.
I gotta say, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, kind of touched on it, but like Lisa, she doesn't podcast. She's not someone to she keeps to herself a little bit, but like, man, when Savanna was there and she was interviewing Lisa, I mean, Lisa could have gone on for hours.
Sure,
she felt so comfortable. I mean, normally I'm the one who won't shut up. Like, I was just standing back like, oh, this is your time, Lisa.
Yeah.
She just was going on and on. She got everything out. I'm just curious, like, whether it's strategy or just who you are as a person, or maybe the prep work you do ahead of time. Like, you're so young. Like, what do you attribute? Like, I think you have a real skill for this. Like,
Thank you.
You really do. I was going to say, you should have your own podcast. Like,
I've always wanted one, honestly.
You totally do. I will help you any way I can to get you started, because
you.
your ability to get information out of people and have them be genuine about it and excited to talk to you. If what I saw that one day is just how the typical interview, like, it was really impressive. Like, what do you do to get ready for something like this? Why do you think? I'm trying to think of the right words. Like, what skills do you put toward having someone give you that information and do it with such passion? Is it just a natural thing, or are you planning ahead of time? Like, what goes into something like that?
I honestly never know how people are going to react or talk to me during my interviews. I kind of just go in there, ask them, let them speak. I try to really listen to what they're saying, so it's not planned and strategic of, oh, what am I going to say next, depending on what they say.
Oh, that's so huge.
Sometimes it kind of just depends. I do get lost in my thoughts when having interviews sometimes, because I really want to make sure if I have a question, I want to ask it, but I kind of tend to go back around and circle back to it. But I kind of just let them speak. I try not to interrupt to what they're saying, because if they are going on about something, they're clearly very passionate about it, and I want them to get it all out. I kind of just don't really have a plan. I just let them talk. And I think I just always try to make eye contact with them too, so they know I'm listening, and they know if I feel like if I was looking around or just not feel like I'm not paying attention to what they're saying, I want them to know that what they're telling me is very important, and I care. That's one thing. I'm not going to do a story if I don't think it's important. If I care, like, I'm going to put all of my passion into it. So I just want people to trust me and being able to tell me things. So I do feel like, though, every interview I have, people do open up, and I really don't have a hard time with people getting to tell me things, which I think is a good skill to have.
Did you figure this out on your own, these type of things, like looking at people in the eye? Did you read a body language book? Or is this just like stuff you learn in college?
I kind of think learning stuff in college and then just being able to do it on my own, because I do feel like with this major and this career, you can sit down in a classroom and learn everything you need to know, but it's all about putting it to the test and actually doing it yourself. And honestly, I think just putting myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations with stories and assignments, and I just have to do it. There's no way of going around. I just have to do it. So
any story was like really out of your comfort zone? I don't know if you're allowed to say.
For my job, I honestly don't think so. I mean, doing anything covering city council or planning board, that's out of my comfort zone. I try to make sure afterwards I fully understand what they're saying, because I don't want to put together a bunch of words that I don't even know what they mean. Yeah. So I think starting out, just being able to only get those assignments first kind of helped me to be more serious writer, and I guess to understand what's going on. But I don't know, just putting myself in these situations where I just have to be alone, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just. Sorry, I stepped away from the microphone.
Forgive you.
I'm sorry, I'm new here. So where do you see yourself going career-wise?
That's a good question. I get that a lot, and I don't really have a straight answer, because it kind of changes per day what I want to do, to be honest with you. Some days I'm like, I really just want to do sports, or some days I really just want to make videos, like do more of that type of producing take from it. And other times I just like to sit down and like to tell people stories. So I don't know. I mean, I guess being a multimedia reporter for right now is good, but I also like to be in front of the camera too. So that's the question that I ask myself pretty much every single day, and I get that question a lot, and I just really don't have a straight answer, because I kind of want to do everything all the time.
I suggest do that then. Yeah, do everything all the time.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I think so.
Maybe that's why you've got these skills. You've done dance, you've done tennis, you've done media. It's like the more things you do, the more comfortable you get with the world.
I think so. I also did pageants when I was little too.
What? Wait a minute, what?
I did pageants. I did the 4th of July pageant for Berlin, which was like a super small pageant. They
How
still
old were
do
you?
it. I was 5 or 6, I think, and I won that.
Like a beauty pageant?
I guess so. It was more It is, but very toned down. So it was just I never did any of the glam. So every time I did pageants, I always did the natural. Going about it. I never changed my appearance. I was just myself.
Because those things are pretty stigmatized, right? People have this view on it like, oh, stage moms. And I think they made a TV show about these people. Didn't
Toddlers and Tiaras.
Toddlers and Tiaras.
Yes, that was nothing like anything I did. It was just me. I think, honestly, my humor is what made me win my first title, I guess I would say, or my second, because the 4th of July one was my first one, but doing a real pageant, I was only 8, and the questions that they asked me was like, oh, if I could be anyone for a day, who would I be? And I said I wanted to be my parents so I can boss everybody around. And
nice.
That was improvised?
Yes.
You've been improvising since you were 8.
Nice.
And yeah, so that led me to take acting and modeling classes for like the scholarship that I won from the pageant. So it was just, I just do a little bit of everything, I guess. So I guess that makes me very flexible in what I do.
Yeah, all those experiences. You think my daughter, I'm trying to find what she's like really into. Like I was asking you about dancing. Like, would you recommend pageants for little kids with big personalities?
Honestly?
Or
Sure, why not? I guess just to see how she reacts to it, if she likes it, because there's different parts of the pageants too that people don't realize. There's a talent portion.
What would you do for your talent portion?
Well, for me, I danced
across
the stage, but it was very chill. It's nothing like those TV shows make it out to be, just like everything else. But it was just me putting on a dance costume, just strutting down the runway, doing a little heel stretch and a pirouette, and just doing a pose, and people liked it. So, I don't know. I think if she feels comfortable being herself and putting herself out there, then why not?
I mean, the other day, it's a little bit more every day, but I'm so proud of this little lady. Like, we were interviewing my brother-in-law, and so his daughter was in town. We were like, oh, she could be a cute little part of this interview. She was there, and my daughter was there, and I was just like, why not? Hey, Sora, tell us about you. And it's like she's done this 100 times before. I've listened to it 100 times. Like, she's so cute, and I'm like, she's like her dad. My other 3 boys, they love sports, like athletics. They're boys. But they're not like the performers like I am. Like I used to do wrestling. I used to do a lot of things in front of an audience. But Sora, man, I think that's my little performer. Like whether it's gonna be dance, I'm just trying to figure out what she should do. What kind of dance did you do again?
I did everything. I did ballet, tap, jazz, modern, lyrical, point, acro. Didn't really do hip hop though. That was definitely not my thing. We didn't really do that at my studio, but I did everything. So I guess I've always been very flexible. And everything.
Yeah. So what should I start her off with? Like if I want something that like really, because you seem so confident, like, and I want that for her too. Like, what's the dance that's going to get her to be the most creative, the most confident? Stuff she'll not just learn how to dance, but learn some real life lessons from.
Honestly, maybe ballet and jazz, I think, or maybe just a little bit of everything. But I know I started out doing ballet as a little girl because that teaches you discipline and that teaches you, I don't know, how to be poised, I guess. But that's the basic foundation for every dance, and every dancer is taking ballet. It's super critical.
Oh.
But
okay.
Yes, it's like the foundation of dance. It just teaches you just everything, pretty much, just good basics. But if she has a good personality and she thinks she likes to put herself out there, then definitely jazz. That's more upbeat, facial expressions, sparkly costumes.
That's her.
All that jazz.
Oh yeah. She's got like her sparkly eye makeup that she does. And Lisa, my wife, she doesn't even put on makeup. But Sora, every morning, I can't go downstairs. Yeah, I didn't put my makeup on. And like, that girl's got my heart.
It's so cute.
So when you're nowadays, now that you're 1 year in, you're just 1 year in? Yeah.
Working there pretty much.
Yeah. Like, I know that when it came to like wrestling or podcasting, anything, like once I've done it, I look at it all differently. Would you say your views on how you look at things like digital media or print or anything, has it been changed in this year?
100%, because I don't know, you look at things that you see on TV, and I feel like it's all of this, I don't want to say nonsense because I don't want to seem like I'm...
Be real with us.
Yeah.
Be real. It's nonsense.
It seems like a lot of nonsense, to be honest with you. I mean, it's all national news. I feel like a lot of times it's not local news. So that definitely changed my perspective, because I thought for a while, oh, everyone I know from college is going to be working at these big name news companies, and I have to move back home and there's nowhere for me to work. And I just felt like I was just feeling kind of lost. But knowing how much impact I'm making on people every day with my stories, especially in Vineland, they don't have a paper for them. And every time, every single week that I meet someone new, they always tell me how grateful they are that they have a paper, because they get to be seen. Their kids get to be in the newspaper with sports. They get to have coverage. They feel important. And I really do like that, because there's times where I get lost in my own head, where I feel like what I do is not important, or I don't know, it just feels like a waste of time. But then I actually just have to sit back and realize how many people lives, I guess, changing, even just by one person putting their story out there. They feel special.
Sure. I think that's super important. I think a lot of people go through life that way, like thinking like, you know, why bother, you know, and then getting that one moment. And usually it's when you're at your lowest that's like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. It's really cool. Yeah.
I know you've had that experience probably with art club a few times.
Sure. But yeah, it's definitely it definitely keeps you moving forward. Yeah.
Do you get feedback afterwards, or do people tell you like, I read the article?
They do, and it's always very shocking to me. And for some reason, I'm like, oh, you actually are reading it. Like, even when I was at the carnival taking pictures for the paper, someone said, oh, I recognized your name today. They looked at my press pass.
No
and was
way.
like, oh, I recognize your name in the paper. And I was kind of just like, oh, okay, wow, like, I better be careful. Like, I don't know. Like, people are actually, I guess, noticing me, which is what I want, but the whole time. But it's like, I don't know, just putting my face to my name that they see is just very strange to me sometimes, too.
Yeah.
Especially 'cause I feel like a lot of things I do is just undercover. Like, I do social media for Main Street. No one knows that I do that.
Until now.
Until now.
I mean, people, if they read your articles enough, I'm guessing someone could just put it in the internet, and
I
they're
guess
like, oh, that's her.
but it's weird to think that people might be actually doing that. Because
they definitely do,
never know.
and I wouldn't know either if my wife didn't write for the Gazette sometimes. She used to write because our son has diabetes, she would write articles every month, and I would always wonder, like, is anyone actually going to read this? And like, she would get feedback all the time. We'd go to a Lions Club meeting, and like 4 people there would be like, I read your last one, it was so good. I'm like, wow, people really do read this.
It feels good to hear sometimes.
Yeah,
it does.
And as someone who wants to make a positive impact, like, I mean, you're doing it. You made our day. And not only that, let me tell you, like, what do you think of your day? Because, like, you know, a lot of times if someone comes here for something like a newspaper article, they'll come, ask their questions, and then they're gone. Like, Savanna was walking around. I think there was a couple campers who came up to you and had a little chat with you, right?
Yes, that was a lot of fun. I usually do get nervous when I'm going to places and doing stuff, especially it's my first time, because I don't know what to expect.
Were you nervous?
A little. I mean, I try not to be, but I'm a little awkward. I mean, that's just who I am. Like, I'm a little shy and a little awkward. So, of course, I mean, and I'm usually not around children that much. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's only like high school students I'm around for sports sometimes. So it's like, I don't know what to expect. But I had such a great time. The kids were really super receptive of the pictures I was taking them, and they were excited. They were coming up to me, asking me to take more pictures of them. They wanted me to show them the pictures I was taking. I had one camera following me around almost the entire time, just having a conversation with me, just talking to me, getting to know me. And
I think I know who that was. Yeah. She's cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. And they just kept asking me, like, oh, are you coming back again? Like, am I going to see you again? I was like, I don't know. This is my first time here. So that definitely made the experience a whole lot better, because the kids are excited. To be different if I was pointing the camera at them and they were looking at me like, please don't take my picture. But no, they were really cool. So
it was a few things. It was you, and it's, you know, the summer camp. Like, we definitely emphasize people having their best self out and having a good time. So
You could tell everyone was so happy too, so that was really cute.
I'm sad. Summer's almost over. It's been such a good one.
I know.
Well, anything else? Any other questions?
No, just like it's been a pleasure getting to know you for this last hour here.
I have something like.
You got something?
Yeah, I mean, here we are with a professional.
Oh
like,
my God!
What did we not ask? What would you have asked?
That is an amazing question.
Thank you.
That is an amazing
I should work for the
question.
Gazette.
You should
Yeah.
ask about myself or ask about you guys in general.
No, nobody wants to know about us.
We don't matter.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm just saying, if you were in our shoes, what would you have asked?
I mean, you guys asked about my background pretty much.
So you're saying we did an all right job?
Yeah, you guys did.
Hey.
Solid B plus.
I'll take it, man. It's better than my report
so
cards.
much, especially I guess coming from a communications student, that there's just so much about their experience that you could just go on forever about. There's definitely things that I didn't mention that I guess could be interesting if you guys want to know about it, but I could ramble on. But
give us one good one.
Okay, so
Just
I'll talk about my internship real quick
Yeah,
in case
do that.
if there's anyone listening who feels lost or anything like that about entering the real world, because being a journalism student, you had to have a certain amount of credits in order to graduate with an internship. So for me, I was freaking out a little bit, especially because all of the work I did as a student was more social media wise. So I was doing social media for my sorority, which I loved because I won 2 awards from that. So that was good. I was nationally recognized for stuff.
Wow.
What sorority?
Phi Sig.
All right. I was in Kappa Sigma when we were there.
We don't have that
I
anymore.
know. Yeah, we didn't pay any bills. So yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So a lot of my work was more social media related. So I was like, okay, well, I need to get an internship that I can have some journalism experience with, because I feel like I couldn't get a social media internship as a journalism major. That just really wouldn't make sense to me. So I stumbled upon Handshake, which is where you go to apply for internships and jobs as a student. And I came across a media journalist / creative director assistant intern, which is a super long title, for
Seriously.
for Snaps Media, which is like a big media company. They have Metro Philly and Philly, but they have little small newspapers and media brands across New York. So I applied and I was like, oh, I don't really have that much experience, I guess. So I don't think I'm going to get it. I ended up getting it, and that totally changed my perspective because I was working right under the creative director's belt. I was just his go-to guy. So that was super cool, especially for being in my last semester. My first story, I went to the One World Trade Center, and I took yoga on the top floor.
Whoa.
And that was my first story, which was pretty cool. It was raining, so I didn't get to see anything that day. But still, like, just going to a place, like, I've been to the memorial before, but this is a totally different experience, and I'm working there, so I took a whole video for it. I posted it on my social media, too, being like, oh, come with me to take this experience on the top floor. I got a tour around it after. So that was super cool. That made me, like, excited for these creative opportunities that I could be doing. And so I was basically just his wing woman, I guess, on all these different assignments. So if a new food place was opening up, like, and he knew the owners, I got there, I got to try all this food, I got to go in the kitchen, do these videos, interview them, and also write the articles for it too. So it's just combining all my skills together. And then I remember one of my last assignments, I went to a Long Island Ducks game, which is their minor league baseball team for Long Island. And that was cool because, like I said, I knew I wanted to work in sports somewhat, but I just wasn't really sure how to start because it's such a big thing. And I was graduating a month later, so there's nothing much more I can do. But I was on the field. I connected with the photographer who was there because he was also taking pictures for the athletics at Hofstra. So he was helping me guide around. I would talk to the CEO. I was in the press box talking to all these people. So I was like, okay, well, I have no idea basically what I'm doing. I'm just kind of just learning it for the first time and just video. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. So just like having a phone in their face and like trying to make sure that the video is in frame and he looks good and I'm like paying attention to him, but also multitasking at the same time. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. I got a lot of experience from it, and I think that's kind of what made me, I don't know, better at what I do. Like, gave me a lot of experience. So I felt very confident, I guess, post-grad, which helped. Yeah,
Rad.
so...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I asked that question.
That's a really good one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So, and I'm allowed to send you a message if I'm like, hey, the martial arts school is doing this, just in case you want a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
We take pictures of anything that's going around in the community that we think people want to know about, or any events. We're always open to it.
Awesome, because like the art club, they're always doing huge things.
Oh, yes.
Like there's so much.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Good. Good. Then we will be in touch. Thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think you're a real asset to this town. To know that
Thank
your excitement for it is very infectious, and I think it's making for the newspaper to be its best self. So
Thank you. 2 Best Media Personality nominees.
yeah, dude, did you know that?
Yeah.
When I was introducing myself to her, she's like, "Where do I know that name?" She's like, "Oh, you're my competition."
Yes. Both nominated for a Hammy.
Oh my
Vote for me,
goodness.
people. Vote for me.
Wow. Wow.
Vote for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Savanna Perry.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Welcome to the Clubhouse, a production of Art Club Hammonton with your hosts Sam Seitels and Don Swenson.
If you like what you heard, hit that subscribe button, give us 5-star ratings, and share it with a friend who'd love to hear it too. It really helps us grow, and not only that, it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
So fuzzy. Until next time, keep creating, stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next episode.